Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. It is Thursday, January 2, the second day of 2025. And today, we bring you good vibes, inspiration, and unstoppable energy.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are more fun with us. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter. So, welcome back, Pao Pao.
I like your voice.
I'm only wondering
today.
right now if Anne tomorrow will say it's a third day, and then next week it's a sixth day, and then seventh day of
It's a new
2025.
thing now.
It's a new
It's
thing.
a new-
Bibilangin
yeah.
niya yung buong taon.
Baka maybe by 20, no more na.
Because January 2,
After 10 na
pero yung
lang.
medyo may hangover ka pa nung January 1st.
Actually,
You know,
I'm feeling the holiday blues.
Yeah.
Right, like today I was driving here, I said, wow,
The biggest
the holiday's
difference is
over.
that nag-buffet ka pa kagabi or kahapon.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. It's still the holiday because I said, okay, yesterday was supposed to be my diet day, but I said, wait lang, it's still the holiday. So today is my diet day. So
Yung-
diet na tayo.
Yung
So
New
I'm
Year's
30 minutes
resolution,
ulit.
New Year's resolution ni mo, kain pa more. Hindi ano.
But,
Hey,
but
but
diet
listen,
should
I'm dieting today.
Diet should officially start on the second day because first day, inuubos mo pa yung leftovers from the New
Yeah,
Year
exactly.
celebration. Sayang naman the food.
Did you have leftovers?
I did last night for dinner. I
So you had
did.
buffet and then leftovers.
Yeah, exactly. Sinulat ko
Noted.
na the
Social,
holiday.
social yung leftovers niya, buffet
Oo nga, eh, buffet
leftovers.
leftovers.
That's why
Oo.
wala nang kasha sa akin this morning. So just wait. By February, I will be skinny already, okay?
Wait, tignan
Just
natin.
wait.
The pressure's
just
on
wait.
Mo. Everybody's gonna watch out
This
for
is
that.
why I said this on camera so I can have accountability.
We're gonna
Ayan
loop
na.
this. We're gonna loop this in the second day of
Okay, go.
February.
Oh my
gosh,
because,
ang hirap.
coming in from the second day of 2025.
Okay, go already.
Now let's see if the weather will be okay in terms of Mo eating today. Be ready for another rainy day. Despite the storm-free projections, Pagasa says the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or the ITCZ, continues to affect the Visayas, Mindanao, and Palawan. These places should be ready for possible flash floods or landslides due to moderate to heavy rains. The shear line is also the prevailing system in the eastern sections of northern and central Luzon, bringing scattered rains to areas like the rest of the Bicol region, Quezon, and Marinduque. Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon should also watch out for isolated rains and thunderstorms. The northeast monsoon or hanging amihan is affecting the rest of northern Luzon, causing rains in the Cordillera and Ilocos regions as well as the rest of Cagayan Valley.
The number of firecracker-related injuries reaches 340. The health department says this is 34% lower than the 519 reported in 2023. The DOH adds most of the injuries are still due to illegal firecrackers.
Bawat 10 kaso ay lalaki at ang pinakamaraming edad po ay mula 5 hanggang 19. Mga bata, no, mga teenager.
Meanwhile, in Philippine National Police's own tally, the victims of firecracker-related injuries have reached 297, while one is reported dead. More than 1,000 cases of using or selling of illegal firecrackers have been reported, while 73 were arrested. Almost 600,000 illegal firecrackers amounting to 4 million pesos have been confiscated. Additionally, 21 people were arrested for indiscriminate firing of guns, including one Bureau of Corrections officer, a security guard, and one police officer. 3 were reported injured from stray bullet.
The health department also records 6 deaths due to road incidents during the holidays. The OH data shows that 4 of the 6 fatalities died from motorcycle accidents of the 529 total cases. The department also noted that the figure was 31% higher than the road accidents reported during the same period last year. The DOH reported 94 intoxicated drivers, 459 drivers without safety accessories, and 383 motorcycle accidents.
A message of hope from President Bongbong Marcos as Filipinos usher in the new year. In his New Year message, the president called on the Filipinos to draw guidance and inspiration from the lessons of the past to better oneself. He also urged Filipinos to adopt a growth-focused mindset this 2025. The president also reflected on the adversities the Philippines faced in the previous year and the countless acts of bravery, compassion, and unity displayed by Filipinos during tough times.
Vice President Sara Duterte also urging Filipinos to face the new year with hope. Duterte described 2024 as a year that challenged the country's resiliency and shaped a nation that stands for justice and progress. She then thanked Filipinos for their unyielding love for the country.
Ang taong 2024 ay sumubok sa ating katatagan at humulma sa atin bilang isang sambayanang naninindigan para sa katarungan at kaunlaran. Ngayong 2025, sama-sama nating harapin ang iba't ibang hamon na magpapatibay sa atin bilang isang bansang patuloy na nananalig sa Diyos at nagtutulungan para sa ikauunlad at ikabubuti ng ating pamilya. Sa ating pagsalubong sa bagong taon, ako ay nagpapasalamat sa inyong walang sawang pagmamahal sa bayan na ipinamalas ninyo sa inyong pagsusumikap, pagtitiis, at pagtsatsagang magkaroon ng mas magandang kinabukasan.
South Korea will send to the U.S. one of the black box from the ill-fated Jeju Air Flight 2216. This is part of the investigations over the tragedy that killed 179 passengers. A cockpit voice recorder was also recovered and had its data retrieved. Bird strike is listed as a possible cause behind the worst aviation disaster in South Korean history.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump confirmed he will attend the state funeral of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. This puts an end to all speculations whether Trump, who is a staunch Carter critic, would come to pay his respects. Trump had previously called Carter the worst U.S. president ever. Some of the late president's closest friends are also paying tribute. Jill Stuckey, the superintendent of the Jimmy Carter National Historical Park in Plains, Georgia, has been a friend to the Carter family since 1994.
Legacy of service. That's what he and Rosalind both lived for. And it's hard for me to talk about one without talking about the other because they were inseparable. 77 and a half years of marriage. And they were in sync on pretty much everything. They wanted to live as long as they possibly could to help as many people as they possibly could. And they did it. I am one of the luckiest people in the world. I got to spend 30 years with my heroes. And I love them more today than the first day I met them.
Carter's funeral will be held on January 9th in Washington, D.C. The former U.S. president died on Sunday at the age of 100.
In the meantime, Philippine ambassador to the U.S., Jose Manuel Romualdez, met President-elect Trump in Florida. According to his post on X, Romualdez congratulated Trump following his victory in the elections last November. The ambassador says the Marcos administration is looking forward to working with the next U.S. president. Malacanang confirmed that Ambassador Romualdez will attend Trump's inauguration for President Marcos.
Now in entertainment, It Ends With Us director Justin Baldoni has filed a lawsuit against the New York Times on Wednesday, Variety reports. This is in connection to the story NYT published alleging Baldoni of sexually harassing and seeking to smear the reputation of actress Blake Lively. A spokesperson for the New York Times said it would vigorously defend the libel lawsuit. Meanwhile, Lively has also filed a federal complaint against Baldoni over his conduct during the filming of It Ends With Us. His legal team had previously called these misconduct allegations as categorically false.
Still in entertainment, 3 luxury watches owned by Hollywood superstar Keanu Reeves were found in Chile. A Rolex Submariner engraved with the words "The John Wick 5" was among those recovered in a police operation in Santiago. That particular Rolex timepiece is worth $9,000 or over $500,000 pesos. The high-value items were reportedly taken from Reeves' home in Los Angeles, December 2023. Chilean authorities are in talks to help return these to the John Wick star.
Still in entertainment, Squid Game stars Lee Jung-jae and Jo Yuri tried their hand at the traditional Filipino childhood game, Tumbang Preso. In the video, Lee Jung-jae missed his target multiple times, saying, "This is hard," while Jo Yuri successfully hit the can and addressed Filipino fans. The clip quickly went viral on social media with over 18 million views at the moment. All 7 episodes of Squid Game Season 2 are now streaming on Netflix.
Have you ever played?
No, I was waiting for you to. I knew Paolo was gonna tease me on this. I don't even know what that is.
I'm asking. So you
I
don't know.
I've never played.
You've
so
never-
I just found out about it today.
That's the reason why she was asking you what tumbang
Yeah, I
preso
was like, what?
this morning.
At first I thought it
Yeah.
was Tumbang Peso.
No, but what are the? Have you played any Filipino childhood games?
The Chinese Garter.
Chinese
Is that
Garter,
Filipino?
yeah.
Well,
Yes.
and Patentero.
Well, we
Patintero,
basically
yeah.
Good.
Thank
We
you.
basically co-opted. Is Chinese Garter Chinese?
Parang Chinese Jackstone.
No, seryoso yun.
Kasi we have Chinese Garter, there's also Chinese Jackstone.
Oh, I do Jackstones too.
Yeah,
No,
but
pero anong Chinese
different
Jackstone?
yung Jackstone and Chinese Jackstone.
Oh.
Anong
Yung-
Chinese Jackstone?
The Chinese Jackstone yung pillows. Yung
Ah,
ginaganon.
yeah.
Pillows. Instead of the stars and the ball.
Instead of the plastic stars.
They're like small pillows and then
You
ginaganyan siya.
you
Yeah,
kind of
Chinese
flip them.
Jackstone.
Yeah,
So I don't know, Filipino ba yun or
Chinese Jackstone ba yung tawag doon?
Yeah, Chinese
I
Jackstone.
literally have no
Well,
idea.
anyway,
You're
yeah,
asking the wrong
Patentero.
person.
I grew up playing
Langit
that.
Lupa.
Langit Lupa, oh my God. Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Ice Water.
No, I don't know
And the
that
like this?
one.
Yep, the like that.
Yeah. That was a Coke ad.
Ano nga ba yun?
No, but then...
not that.
Oo, no, pero madami. I mean, like, I remember the touch ball growing up.
Touch ball.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's like this game we used to play in elementary. It's basically like dodgeball.
Okay.
But then the person in the middle is gonna try to catch. The person in the middle is trying not to get hit by 2 sides. So it's a.
Ang
it's a
mayaman
more-
naman your games. Hindi naman yan nilalaro.
Ah, yung ginagamit
They-
nga
they don't
namin,
play
ano
that.
eh, mga
They don't-
panyulang na naka
They don't play that sa kalye.
Yes, we do.
Patintero
Oh
lang
my
ako.
God.
Patintero lang at saka habulan, cops and
I
robbers.
promise you, I'm not the only one. Ano.
You know what? We
oh
should
my gosh.
totally have a segment on Filipino games.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
I
should
wanna
do
learn,
that.
Just like our Jose Rizal special, we need to
Yes.
have something
And
about
all-
like a class.
Yeah.
A PowerPoint.
Lay them
Any
out here.
idea how competitive we are here? May masasaktan. Si
No,
Dwight masasaktan.
I
Nandun
didn't
lang
say,
siya.
I didn't say we're doing the games. I said we're gonna talk
we
about
should
it.
do
and
our
learn the
games. We should
games.
do it.
Kung may
Magpapatintero
Jackstone
tayong
dito,
tatlo here.
Jackstone.
Sige,
Jackstone.
okay.
Pick up
go.
sticks.
Yes.
Yes,
I know
pick
that
up
one
sticks.
too. Yes, we have those in the US. I played them. They're
Hindi
so
yata
fun.
Pinoy yun eh, but we used to play that
Yeah,
growing up.
Pinoy lang. Or the stuff we used to play in elementary.
Yeah.
Which
You know,
ones?
before tablets came out.
True.
When we had
These were the
lives and
real
actually
games.
talk to people, right? And
Yeah,
engage
and
with
there
people.
was interaction.
Exactly.
Oh, pwede rin basketball, pwede rin Pinoy game din.
Pwede din.
No, but,
Man.
but all joking aside, we have a lot to talk about here. We're
That's
not
right.
done yet here. Just so much more.
When we return, we are going to speak to an integrative astrologer about what 2025 has in store for all of us. Find out what the stars have to say about your year as well. So don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hello there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. The new year is here, and as we welcome new beginnings and map out our game plan for a successful year, we are all curious to know what lies ahead for us this 2025. Now, our guest this morning combines astrology with practices of wellness. Integrative Astrologer Thea Custodio joins us live in the studio. It's a beautiful day, Thea. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Now, Thea, yesterday I was able to interview astrologer Resty Santiago, and he was able to give his predictions for 2025. Now, you are also an astrologer, but you are an integrative astrologer.
Yes.
Could you tell us what that means and how it differs from other astrologers?
Great. So I don't use astrology for forecasting or prediction. I use astrology to help you transform into your best life. So I integrate it with science-based, research-based modalities and also, spiritual modalities to integrate like a more holistic approach to personal development.
It's funny because when you say science-based and then astrology at the same time, some
Exactly.
people have their
Yes.
eyebrows raised.
Yes.
So when people have their eyebrows raised, when you say that, what's typically your reply?
Well, foremost, astrology is a science in terms that it's also astronomy. So it's understanding the energetic patterns, the interrelation of what's actually happening within the environment, the conditions within the environment, and actually how the human body, how the person relates and experiences the environment as well, and the energetic themes of the period.
That's so interesting. We saw online that you talk about soul gardening.
Yes.
Can you talk more about that?
So I believe that we are all garden tenders. So, but my passion actually, why I use astrology and all these, research-based methods is that I really passionately believe that we can transform how we relate and live in the world so that we can come about with a more holistic, compassionate approach to, contributing towards a better life and a better way of interbeing. So soul gardening is like being our own garden tenders and just treating our life like our garden. We weed out what no longer serves us. We nourish what serves us. That approach.
So apart from that, you also describe yourself as a former girl boss turned girl moss. Okay.
Girl moss, yeah.
Explain.
So I had like almost 2 decades in corporate.
Yeah.
I was in media, I was in advertising, I was in retail, I worked in digital transformation here and abroad, Singapore, Australia. So
Yeah.
that was my girl boss era. At the tip of my career, I was managing around, my gosh, 50 to more than 50 people because it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
I resigned during the pandemic to really concentrate and focus my energy and resources on studying the research-based methods like psychology, neuroscience,
Yeah.
biohacking, and astrology.
So right now I understand that you're studying psychology, correct?
Yes.
So how do you combine astrology with nature? Like how do you, so say like for me, all I know is that I'm a Taurus. So how would you combine that with nature?
Okay, so can I get more context on nature as you, like what do you mean by nature?
Like how do you combine,
Your nature, the nature of your personality?
yes, basically.
Okay, so the way I apply psychology is through Jungian or archetypal psychology.
Never
And which
heard of
is,
that.
okay, so archetypal psychology, just if you've heard of like the Myers-Briggs,
Yes, that one I know.
the Strengths Finder,
Yeah.
so it gives you like particular archetypes, which are universal symbols that help you relate with, bigger like energies or bigger personas.
Okay.
So the same way when I call you like your zodiac Taurus, which is just one aspect of your personality, which is like a multidimensional, nuanced way of looking at you. I can't just say that you're a Taurus and then it's a generalized form of your nature as just that particular
Right.
sign. There's so many elements that make up the whole you. And so I integrate that astrology of you with, other archetypes that can also make up you. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
That's the
it
first time
does.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, so you don't do predictions. Of course, a lot of people are looking at 2025 as
Yeah.
a bit of a new beginning.
Right.
But could you give us a bit of advice on how to approach 2025, given the knowledge that you have, especially for those with, a lot of people look at astrology and think of the star signs that they have.
Right.
What are the approaches do you think that they should take going to 2025 as we enter a new season of New Year's resolutions, changes,
right.
and people trying to make differences to diet especially?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
He's still calling me out.
matamaan ba? What? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Thea.
how about we reframe diet to like a more soul-based diet?
Okay.
Where we, well, I'm really not a fan of, not giving ourselves what we want or what we need because everything is a balance, right?
Right.
So probably as a recommendation or an invitation for 2025 is really adaptability and opening ourselves up to nuanced perspectives, because we are entering a period of unprecedented change. Like, we have energetic themes that we have never seen before. The last time that we saw such energetic patterns were the French Revolution, the American Revolution, Civil War, World War II. Not saying that we're gonna have, you know, that
A bloody
that kind
change, a bloody revolution.
Exactly.
I was like, oh my gosh, so scary naman.
Exactly.
She started saying French Revolution. I said, oh.
We have to clarify that because we're not predicting World War III.
We're not.
No, we're not.
We're not. So just clarifying that we're not predicting that. It's just that these are the same energetic themes and patterns. So how I'm approaching this and inviting you to approach this is, it's just pattern recognition.
Okay.
And everything is a cycle. And we're going back to these cycles in time where these are the similar themes that are also coming up. But what's totally different here is because we also have rapid technology at our disposal, which can actually bring about so much fear, but also bring about so much potentiality. So opening ourselves up to these rapid changes can really, really help us. And in terms of diet, give us more, like, do more of what can actually help our soul grow. So connection to a higher power, whatever divinity or whatever God means for you, spirituality, and practices that actually help you ground into the present moment, just because there's so much erratic change and energy that's coming to the fore.
Now, Thea, what would an integrative astrologer say about how to attract more positive energy for 2025?
So in terms of attracting, invitation to just align, really clarify your intention, clarify your purpose. Why are you here? What is the why behind your why? And step into like a more grounded alignment, because attraction just follows alignment. If you're moving with purpose, you know, synchronicities, what they call manifestations, become so much easier and in flow.
Now, what about negative energy this coming year? How do we combat that?
Okay.
Because you talked about positive energy, so now let's talk about negative energy.
Drive away the negative
Yep.
energy. How do we do that?
In terms of driving it away, inviting it as an invitation for, or an opportunity for growth and an opportunity for transformation. Because as with every negative energy, there's positive, there's always a balance. There's yin, there's yang, there's light, and there's dark. And when we just focus on one particular element, which is like, say, just positive, we're forgetting that we are needing to find homeostasis. We're always needing to find the balance between both. So inviting negativity not as, you know, bad yan, nega yan, or like that, but it's giving you an opportunity to really evolve and grow. And now a lot of people, like particularly those with a lot of fixed signs, and when I say fixed signs, these are Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, there may be some hesitance or resistance to change just because there's a lot of they value their security, they value stability, and they value the comfort and the known. So invitation to really flow into adaptability, mutability, like I said, welcome change as, you know, your contribution and your participation to the evolutionary journey that we're here to participate in.
You know, you mentioned it a while ago that we are in a period of extreme change.
Yes.
I think that's fair to say. You also mentioned that there are a few archetypes in terms of the star signs here who are less adaptable to that change.
Yes.
Who do you think will have perhaps the more difficult times? And of course, for those who are more adaptable, who do you think would probably have a more, I guess, easier time working through this flow, this change?
So in terms of easier, I'd probably reframe that in a way that there might be more changes that they will experience. So these are the signs, particularly Pisces and Virgo. They're the signs that might, you know, really experience rapid or intense karmic clearing. And when I say karmic clearing, the time that's approaching is an invitation to really get down and dirty with the old patterns and behaviors that actually are on autopilot. And that goes for all signs. Because we are approaching a period in time where we're having like this cosmic kick in the butt where like what's operating your life? Are you on autopilot? Because if you are, then I'm gonna serve you lessons so that you change and shift your beliefs because you're here to evolve and grow. And so when I mentioned those fixed signs, they're so resistant to change. And so that's just an invitation now. Kind of opened up a bit and lean back a bit and lean in more to trust to a higher power and your own sense of spirituality.
Are there any star signs that you're most curious about how they're going to do in 2025?
Oh gosh, Libra and Aries actually probably for me would have been the two signs that experienced a lot of relationship changes in 2024, 2023. So the past periods were like intense transformations in terms of interpersonal relationships. So I'm curious, I'm really curious, and I'm excited to witness how, you know, those people with strong Libra and strong Aries are gonna step up into like new beginnings, like foundational new beginnings next year.
Well, oh, sorry, what was going to be the difference for Aries?
Are you an Aries?
Are you an Aries?
I'm a Cancer.
I am.
So I was listening to this.
How is it? Because there might have
You
been
know
a
what?
lot
It's
of...
funny because I asked Resty yesterday
Yeah.
to give me his predictions on what my 2025 is going to be. So he asked for my birthday, time of birth, and everything. And he mentioned that 2 years ago, things were heavy
Yeah.
for me as
Yeah.
an Aries.
Yeah.
But things are going to be lighter
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
And well, you mentioned 2023, 2024 relationship change. I did not have any major relationship changes, but a lot of changes happened
Yeah.
in my life. So it was kind of heavy.
Yeah.
So he said that this year it's going to be lighter. So maybe that is what you are saying as well, right?
Yes, and probably because you were an Aries, so next year, in the next 2 years, Virgos, those with strong Virgos, and actually also those with strong Sagittarius and even Gemini, are going to experience some rapid transformation and rapid growth. And oftentimes, you know, we don't change if things are happy. We usually change because we kind of don't have a choice.
Yeah, we
We're
need
pushed
to.
to the wall, and we need
Yes,
to.
yes.
So these signs might probably, in terms of the energetic themes and patterns, are gonna be pushed to the wall and invited to creatively, you know, release or have some. There's a creative invitation for them to adapt into what's being forced upon them.
You know, it's funny because every time we talk about astrology and people ask me about my star sign, they panic because I'm a Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and a Scorpio rising.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Could you explain for like especially our viewers who are just new to this?
Okay.
What that
Cancer,
means,
sun,
like
what?
with the sun
Moon?
rising.
Yeah, because that's why they ask about the
All I
time you
know
were
is I'm a
born.
Taurus.
Yes.
That's it.
That's why they ask about the time you were born.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
changes, and at the same
Yes.
time, there's also the year and
Yes.
everything.
So that when you were asking me about Taurus, I was saying that's just one of, you know, just one element that comprises the whole of you. And there's this tenet in astrology where we believe, well, actually it's not a belief, but the science of the law of correspondence, where what is happening above is also happening below,
Yeah.
as within, so without. So
Yeah.
it's just an energetic correspondence.
Yeah.
So the archetypes that I'm referring to in astrology are the planets. And each of these planets, like all the astronomical planets that we have, even the sun and the moon,
Yeah.
they have their own energetic qualities, they have their own archetypes, they have their own expressions.
Yeah.
And the basis of astrology is when you take your first breath, it's spirit that actually descends into matter because you inhale the energetic qualities of that particular moment in time.
Yeah. So that's the rising,
Yes.
the moon.
So
and
whatever
the
is rising
sun.
in the horizon is also rising in you.
Yeah.
So scorpionic qualities like intensity,
look at
passion
Yeah.
are rising in you.
Yeah. So sorry, when we have all of those and people are asking for predictions, as we're showing there right now, a Scorpio there on our screen. Normally, it's very broad. It's
Yes.
never specific,
Yes.
especially in predictions like that. Like here, you're saying for Scorpio, discipline, health routines, and self-care, transforming daily work-life balance.
Yes.
When you have predictions like that,
Yes.
it always comes with a caveat.
Yes. Yes, always.
So when you take a look at for example, this for Scorpio, what types of people need to take this in?
So those with a lot of Scorpio elements, those with a lot of Aries also. When I do these predictions, or when I get invited to give these predictions, I look at it in such a way where I look to the planet that actually holds a lot of energy for that sign and check what that planet is doing. So Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, for example, and Mars is a strong Mars right now, but it's not a comfortable Mars because Mars is retrograde. So meaning there's just this perception because it's so close to the Earth that it's moving backwards, but in truth it's not. Okay. And when planets are retrograde and they're moving backwards, and you know, I think it's so popular when we talk about Mercury retrograde.
Yeah,
because
that
it
was going to be
happens all
my
the
question,
time.
because I always hear about that, and I feel like sometimes people use it as an excuse.
Right.
Like,
No,
it's just Mercury's in retrograde, and I'm like, girl, what?
No,
I don't understand.
But it actually is true.
Is it true?
It really affects people's moods and everything.
Yes, from an energetic perspective, definitely. Because these are, the gravitational pull of these planets are stronger because when planets are retrograde, they're closer to the Earth.
Yes.
And so in terms of like the energetic pattern, Mercury, for example, rules communication, thought, how we perceive things, how we socialize. So all these, how we travel. So all these things, when the planet is very close to us and the gravitational pull is strong, it gets affected. The same with Mars, it's the planet of energy, it's the planet of drive and action. But it's close and it's retrograde, so it can be like this feeling of a slow burn, but also there's a sense of agency, but we kind of have no idea what to do first, but it's just so droggy, so everyone feels tired probably, everyone feels like they're just sleeping a lot, and they're questioning, okay, now what am I gonna do tomorrow, what am I gonna do with my life, like these sorts of questions, just because the planet that rules our drive and initiation and action is kind of slowing down.
So we've been showing a bunch of the predictions and pieces of advice that you've given to the different star signs a while ago.
Yeah.
But at the same time, siguro we can roll more of that there for those star signs that we missed a while ago.
Yes.
But you mentioned change as being the biggest theme in 2025.
Yes.
If there's something as general as you can put out there, how people can adapt to change and how people can really embrace even the discomforts, which is counterintuitive to be fair.
Yes.
What would that message be?
It would be really grounding in your spirituality practice, like having a devotional practice, understanding your morning rituals. And it's a transformation or an invitation to reframe control and judgment into just habitually creating routines that serve you. Just because there's so much uncertainty and unknown, what we can do is just really focus on the present moment and make sure that we're grounded to experience the fullness of what's in it, what's there.
That's so interesting.
I know.
I've been learning a
That's
lot
so
today.
interesting. But
Thea, for those who are setting their intentions for this year, because a lot of people are going to be, having those New Year's resolutions, their aspirations for 2025. Is there any advice that you can give on how we can really set our intentions for this year and, stay at it?
Okay, beautiful question. What's coming to me right now is introducing the 7 layers of why. Just because we have a slow burn to the start of the year, we can really use the cosmic invitation of contemplation and grounding to have this exercise of asking our why 7 times. Why do you want to do what you do? You get an answer. Usually the first 3 answers are complicated, they're quite complex, like da da da. And then you ask yourself again, why? Until you get to the 7th layer where it's usually just a word and it really, really clarifies your intention. So it's just a deepening of your intention so you can step in more alignment and inspired action as we go about the year.
Thea, we have a lot of questions for you. We're not done. To be honest, asking questions. If ever people want to reach out to you, how can they do so?
So I'm quite active on Instagram, not so much on TikTok, but I'm also there. It's Soul Soil TLC. You can also find me on YouTube and Facebook. It's Soul Soil Cosmos.
So, Soil, Soul, Cosmos.
So,
that
yeah,
is
that's
a
a
tongue twister that I did not expect this morning.
Soul soil. Say that 10 times real fast.
Well, either way, you can go follow Thea
Yes.
Custodio there.
Thank you,
She's
Thea.
an
Thank you
integrative
so much.
Thank you for
astrologer.
having
Thank you so
me.
much for joining us.
Good morning.
All right, so it's a beautiful day. Things are looking up for the business outlook in the Philippines for the year 2025. That story and more after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Powerful storms hit the country one after another in 2024, affecting not only communities, but the economy as well. We have the support from Hannah T.
In 2024, the Philippines fell victim to a series of almost non-stop typhoons that did not only affect communities, but also the country's economy. Came a bit late in the year. The Philippines was first tested by Typhoon Aghon in May in the town of Sariaya, Quezon. This farmer raced against the rising floods to save his cattle. Aghon caused the deaths of no less than 5 people and damage amounting to over 85.6 million pesos across 418 hectares of rice fields. In response, the Department of Agriculture allocated over 23 million in aid for affected farmers. In July 2024, Typhoon Karina arrived, intensifying the southwest monsoon in the country. One of the most affected areas was Marikina. Mud and soaked belongings were seen along this road in Barangay Industrial Valley Complex following the effects of the southwest monsoon. Together with Typhoon Buchoy, Karina cost nearly 6 billion pesos in infrastructure damage across various parts of the country. Back-to-back typhoons, Christine and Leon, arrived in October. Even before Christine made landfall, it had already caused significant damage in the Bicol region. Over 150 people lost their lives, mostly due to raging floods and landslides. The two typhoons cost over 16 billion pesos in damage to the country's infrastructure and agricultural sector. In Pangasinan, Tatay Roger ensured his boat would not be swept away by the waves. He hadn't been able to fish for 5 days due to the bad weather.
Kakain naman ng kunting-kunti, pinagtyagaan na yung mayroon. Nahirapan kami ngayon dahil bagyo eh. Walang income sa araw na pangganap buhay namin.
After the wrath of Typhoon Christine, residents of Barangay Libsong East in Lingayen each had their way of coping with the adverse weather. Before rescue teams arrived, these residents dug a pathway from the road leading to the sea to allow the water to flow out.
Di pare-parehas ma'am, may hanggang baywang, may lagpas tuhod.
On November 7, Typhoon Marce hit Cagayan. 4 days later, Typhoon Nika made landfall in Aurora Province. Several provinces in the north experienced heavy rains and flooding, including Isabela. The Alicaucao Bridge was completely submerged due to the overflowing Cagayan River. But the string of typhoons in Luzon did not end there. It was followed by Typhoon Pepito, which left houses and courts with damaged roofs and felled trees in Aurora. The consecutive typhoons Marce, Nika, Ophel, and Pepito hitting the Philippines were considered unusual by NASA. It was the first time since 1951 4 typhoons formed in the Western Pacific in November. According to Pag-asa, while this phenomenon isn't new to the Philippines, it requires thorough study and preparation. The successive typhoons slowed down the Philippine economy. According to the World Bank, the country's GDP grew only by 5.9% in 2024, lower than the earlier projection of 6%. The World Bank added that the Philippines remains vulnerable to strong typhoons. Despite this, the country's GDP is expected to grow by 6.1% in 2025 and 6% in 2026. But these projections are on the lower end of the government's target of 6 to 8%. Aside from inflation, the economy slowed down in the third quarter of the year due to typhoons that disrupted government spending and agricultural production. Amid the challenges brought by successive typhoons, Malacanang called on all government agencies to avoid lavish Christmas celebrations as part of their solidarity with millions of Filipinos affected by calamities.
Kahit papaano sana, yung ating sanang gawing papamasko, pamahaginan natin sa kanila. Kawawa naman at sila'y naghihirap.
Government agencies also continue delivering aid to those affected to help them fully recover.
Integrative of Budget and Management has also assured the public and that there are sufficient funds to replenish the quick response funds of agencies and the disaster risk reduction fund of the agencies as well.
The palace further urged everyone to share blessings with those affected because the spirit of bayanihan strengthens the Philippines in the face of calamities. Hannah T., Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Some market analysts have called it 2025 could be a good year for business in the Philippines. Sujin Kim tells us why.
Amid concerns over global and local economies, some stock market analysts remain optimistic about the Philippine Stock Exchange Index for 2025. According to a report from a stock brokerage firm, the PSEI could possibly return to the 7,000 level this year, even 8,000 and 9,000 as best-case scenarios. The PSEI closed 2024 at 6,528, 1.2% higher than 2023's performance.
It's very early in the year. There's so many other factors we have to look at. But what we want investors to be is ready. So if interest rates fall to a certain level, then dapat ready tayo to go. If earnings go to a certain level, then ready tayo to go. No? So in fact, I think yung 8,000 number na yan is, I believe we're looking at around 5.5% interest rate and around 2.5% and a 2.5% EPS growth. Yung 9,000, that's probably tougher. But, we have our good, better, best scenario.
Luna Apsis Research also expects sectors such as financials and consumer goods to deliver promising outcomes this year.
So for 2025, we like domestic demand as a theme. So obviously there are a lot of uncertainties we're facing entering 2025. We're only less than a day into 2025. Marami pang pwedeng mangyari. But we have to remember that the Philippines is still expected to grow at a pace of anywhere from 5.5 to 6+% full year. And we expect this to be bolstered in large part by the consumer space. Specifically, we are entering a midterm election season. So talagang the domestic demand space will really be lifted. No?
Among the top entry points recommended by Diaz are Aboitiz Equity Ventures and Union Bank.
We like AEV. So AEV is a well-diversified conglomerate. No? And it services many key sectors of the economy. Union Bank just completed and consolidated the acquisition of the consumer side of Citibank. So that's poised to now start contributing in 2025. Coca-Cola, we're expecting it to increase contribution into AEV. Of course, it's an election year. There's a lot of soft drinks that's going to be handed around and purchased.
Diaz also highlighted Converge, which is well-positioned to capitalize on increased broadband demand during the midterm elections. However, investors are urged to remain cautious as market volatility persists, driven by geopolitical tensions and ongoing fluctuations in interest rates. When asked about strategies for high-net-worth individuals and bilyonaryos, Luna Securities President Francis Diaz recommended focusing on stock picking for now. He emphasized that their priority remains on secular picks over index names. Sujin Kim, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Do you still have leftovers from medianoche like me? Well, we could put a new spin to your days-old food with the help of Chef Lau. So after the break, stay tuned. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. We are still on a new year high on the second day of 2025. Let's take a look at how the rest of the world welcomed the new year. In Hong Kong, a dazzling fireworks display illuminated the skies over at Victoria Harbor. The 12-minute show is called Symphony of Happiness. In Thailand, eco-friendly fireworks made out of sticky rice was showcased during the revelry in the Land of Smiles. Let's check in on the land down under, where Australia launched a big-time fireworks display at Sydney Harbour that reached over 7 kilometers, which used 9 tons of fireworks. Wow. Now, over in Dubai, Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest skyscraper, was brightened using fireworks. In France, Paris proving why it's called the City of Lights with a grand display along its landmark, the Arc de Triomphe. Same as well in London with a splendid fireworks show along River Thames as the Big Ben struck midnight. And in the United States, partygoers trooped to the 120th edition of the iconic ball drop in New York. Not even a thunderstorm could stop the much-awaited celebration in Times Square.
Now, are you still wondering what to do with your holiday leftovers? We've got some fresh ideas for you. In this report, Pierre Pastor speaks to Chef Lau to discover creative ways to transform those festive dishes to a revamped New Year's feast.
One Filipino holiday tradition is preparing a full spread for the Medianoche feast. It symbolizes the hope for prosperity and abundance for the whole year. And because there's so much on the table, for sure there will be lots of leftovers. And to not waste food, Chef Lau has some tips. Aside from turning into sisig or paksiw, the famous lechon can be turned into sinigang. Excess ham usually end up in a pasta dish or a salad, but you can also put it in sopas.
Ham na sopas na may leftover na, kung may leftover chicken kayo or lechon manok or turkey, pwede gumawa ng parang sopas nun, di ba? Oh, carrots, celery, onions, igisan nyo yan. Tapos yung leftover ham, leftover na chicken, tapos lagyan siya ng konting gatas.
Ham can be a topping for a homemade pandesal pizza too.
Kaya may pandesal kayo, meron kayong oven toaster. Yun, yung pandesal na yun, slice nyo sa kalahati. Lagay kayo ng konting tomato sauce, ketchup, or ano. Lagay nyo dun yung mga leftover ham. Lagyan nyo ng grated cheese, quick melt. Lagay nyo sa oven toaster hanggang maging malutong yung bread nyo. O may instant pizza na kayo nun.
Grilled fish like tuna or blue marlin can be made into a sandwich spread or a salad ingredient.
Ang maganda gawin sa grilled tuna, yung laman niya, i-flakes mo siya, haluan mo siya ng konting mayonnaise, konting, kung meron kang mustard, mag-chop ka ng sibuyas na pino, ihalo mo yon, magandang tuna sandwich na yon. Blue marlin na yon, di ko na siya iniinit ulit, fine-flake ko siya ulit, tapos yun ang tinatapin ko sa salad ko. Di ba? Meron akong salad na lettuce or ano, yung favorite ko na dressing. Tapos itatapin ko na lang doon yung blue marlin. Chilled, hindi kailangan initin. And then, kompleto na yung salad mo. Meron ka ng greens, and then may protein ka pa from the grilled blue marlin.
There's a lot we can do with leftover food, but what is more important, according to Chef Lau, is to avoid spoilage. He suggests putting leftovers in the refrigerator immediately, but make sure they are at room temperature. Heat encourages spoilage.
Let's say meron kayong kaldereta na nagluto ka lang kaldereta pang buong barangay. Hindi na ubos. Make sure bago siya ilagay sa container na sealed tsaka ilalagay sa ref, palamigin nyo muna na room temperature. And then you put sa ref. Kasi pag nilagay nyo yung pagkain na mainit sa ref, matagal siya lumamig. The longer time siya na mainit, may ano din, yung danger zone na temperature which is between 40 degrees to 140. Pag nandun yung pagkain ng ilang oras, bacteria growth, malaki yung chance na mangyari yun. Kung below 40 siya or above 140 siya, hindi mag-infest or hindi lalago yung bacteria, so safe tayo nun.
As the elders say, abundance in wealth and good luck will come to those who do not waste. Pierre Pastor, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Oh my goodness,
That
I'm
made us so hungry.
Guys, I said I'm dieting day and then you guys show food. Ano ba? My stomach is rumbling.
Pero ang galing ni Chef Lau, no?
I know.
He's able to like make new dishes out of the leftovers. Because
sarap.
normally we would just put them in the microwave and eat them as
He talked
is.
about the ham pizza and I said, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I have all the ingredients at home, but I cannot eat that today.
Gutom
I'm
kayo?
so sad. I'm so hungry.
That is so good. And of course, we know where they're going to be right after the show. They're going to look for food, especially Mo. And that is it for us today, this Thursday, January 2. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Thank you very much for joining us.
Pao is back to bullying us,
Yes,
you
it's
know.
fine. New Year, same Pao.
Exactly. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. May this day be an unforgettable one for you guys. And don't forget to spread joy and kindness wherever you go.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. May you all have a great day ahead. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. only here on
It's a beautiful day.